Hello, I read the short story or short fictions by Thomas Mann using this book. This is a book, Bantam Classic. Best is in Venice is featured by Thomas Mann's short stories. But one of them, the second one of this book is the Joker. Joker is the story, I think the autobiographical story by Thomas Mann when he was young. And it's very gripping and very heartfelt and honest story of his bringing up and in Germany, and he was a very wealthy kid, and his father was like a timber yard operator, and he was rich. So Thomas Mann grew up a very rich kids, and also very very well-to-do and bright boy there. And so he grew up very happy-go-lucky type of person when he was growing up. But I think when he was like 23, 24, I think his father passed away. But just before he passed away, he described Thomas Mann as a buffoon and a joker. And that particular two phrases to describe him remained very, very strong for him. And so after he died, he somehow relieved from kind of a very restricted, very, regimented life by this family. And he became free and with lots of inheritance, and he could live by not working, and he could live going to the France, Spain, and lived for some time there, and having a good time there. Of course, he was a very smart person, and therefore he was observing all kinds of different cultural things in Spain, Italy, and so forth. But he came back, and after a while, when he was like 27, 28, he settled in this German town. I think where he grew up, I think so. But one day he was very much describing himself as very kind of conceited, because he was, very, very educated and very, well-to-do family person. So he was very much describing him as a happy person. Then, when he was like 27 or close to 30 years old, I think he was living in this town, and he went out for a walk. And, for some reason, on that particular walk, he kind of wished something good happened or whatever. And he was like well-dressed and still rich because of inheritance. And so he was around, and he saw this carriage coming toward him, and he saw one of the most beautiful girl sitting in there and driving this horse. And besides her, there was, I think, her father was sitting and guiding her to how to drive the horse or whatever. Courage. And she was stunned to look at this beautiful girl, and he fell in love immediately, this girl. And evidently she is very, very coming from wealthy family and well, groomed and well dressed, well educated, and everything he wished. And he was fell in love, and so he observed them for a while, and like a week later or something, 10 days later, he went to the opera, the Gounod's opera in the town, and then he realized that this girl and the father was like sitting there, in this the seats where you can see them, and so this particular seat is a compartment seats, and so only wealthy people can reserve the particular seats. And so he was looking up and observing them, and so he was kind of admiring her behavior, her manners, and all those things, and so he really smitten by her, and but while he was observing her, he also noticed this girl was talking to someone besides her. And there's this young man, good looking, about his age, and but well groomed, good looking guy was with her. And they seems to be very happy talking to each other and everything. So wow, he couldn't approach, or he couldn't do anything about the particular high status area there. And so they finished opera, and he kind of followed them, because they started to walk from the theater to their house, I would say. And he got to know, after chasing them, the particular house is this particular individual who are well respected, rich person. And so then he noticed that this particular invitation in the newspaper, that there is a bazaar held, for cause or whatever, and people are selling things like cookies or drinks or whatever. And so he decided to go there. And of course, this particular family are there, and she was selling this drinks and stuff there. And so he also noticed this young guy is with her too. And so he kind of decided, because he has a tremendous pride. Thomas Mann has a tremendous pride in upbringing, and he's smart, he's rich, and everything. But all the parents passed away after that. He was leading a life, very free-reading type of life there. So he was kind of halfway, very kind of not happy, because other people, especially this particular family, is way up there, and he couldn't reach. But he decided to approach them at this drink stand that they are selling drinks. So he went there, and he couldn't do anything, because it was too beautiful young people are standing there, and he was even look at their face, and he said, well, this particular drink, coffee or something, and I ordered, and so they looked at him, and they gave him this drink, and he just put the money in there, and he left. And the few days later, he noticed this newspaper announcement that those young couple, the father is announcing the young couple is engaged to be married. So he was, comparing his life and those people, and he was kind of a very, very, of course, sad and very grudgingly, thinking of his life and his life which is miserable, and he couldn't get whatever he wants to. It used to be when he was younger, he could get anything he wants to because he was popular, he was very smart, he was very, very rich, and so everybody come to him and having a good time. But the particular thing is at the age of late 20s is kind of becoming a very like a tormentous kind of things for him, and so he kind of his characters, his optimistic, very light-hearted character, changed to a very gloomy, more serious, more cynical type of change, the characters. And he was describing in this particular short story of his autobiographical novel, The Joker. Though my father, when I was young, he described me as a buffoon and joker. And so he kind of realized, yeah, he is a buffoon and joker. And so after that, I think, maybe later, his old friend, school friend, I think, decided to pay a visit to him. And because this guy was, kind of a good friend of him, and he always liked him, and they liked each other or whatever. And so he came to visit, and he said, when he arrived, he said, well, I'm going to stay here for, like 5 or 6 days. So, okay, yeah, you can stay. And but when they are talking, like the first day or something, his visit, he couldn't hide his change of character, change of personality. So he became a little bit very, very kind of is not attractive anymore in his psychology. He was very, very pessimistic, and he was very grudging all the time, and so his personality changed. And this friend noticed that. And so Thomas Mann himself noticed him change to be very, respectful, very loving feeling toward him. All of a sudden, he noticed changed slightly, or the shifted to the more or less like disdain or disappointment or something like that. And this friend said, well, I realized I better go, I leave. And he left. So this is a story of a Joker, and by Thomas Mann. And I thought this was kind of fantastic, very truthful a very, very strong piece of writing. And when I was reading, it's very, very fascinating because the way he writes about himself is very honest, very uh, good feeling of describing himself when he was young, and he was kind of a spoiled kid and grew up, but he was very popular and everything. But now when he was writing this particular thing, and he was completely different person there. So yeah, after this I felt that yeah, Thomas Mann, I have to read this. I read this Death in Paris, and first one, Little Hair Friedman, and I read that. That was good. And the Joker, the second one, and I have another one, two, three, four fictions I like to read, and the last one, Death in Venice. And when I got this book, of course, I read the Death in Venice first, and I really, really liked it. And so now, by this Joker story, I really, really felt like I should finish the whole book. And this is a book translated by David Luke, and excellent translation, very good translation, very readable, and so I really like this book.